Good evening and welcome. Apologies for a slight lateness of our live video this evening. My name's Jenny McCormack. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in the market town of Brackley in Northamptonshire here in the UK. Thank you for joining me. If you are joining live, do say hi. I don't actually have my phone on me, so I can't see who's joined us. So do say hi if you are here. I'm not normally here on Friday evening, but I was unable to go live yesterday. So I thought I would pop on this evening and do the live that I had intended for yesterday, Thursday, which is our normal evening routine. Just getting rid of a few of these little dots because I just found this frame and I thought I might use it. So I hope you've had a good week. It's been a busy week for me. Can't believe it's Friday already, and I have a reasonably busy weekend, and I'm just trying to finish the class in a box, get those all sent out. All the papers are cut, all the cards cut. It's just the last of the die cutting. The instructions are written and printed, so hopefully they will be good to go, and I'll try and do as much of the die cutting as I can finish this evening. Okay, there's that one there. So this week our stamp set of the week has been Simply Zinnia. And this has also been our design for Coffee and Card. Let me move these papers out of the way. So we're going to use the papers again today. And you can, of course, cut these papers out. Some of the dies will fit the papers, or you could fussy cut these ones if you wanted to. Hi, Teresa. Oh, bless you. It's Gail's husband's funeral today. That's so sad. Always a really difficult thing to get through when it's, you know, somebody close to you. So, well done for getting through the day. And thank you for joining us this evening. So this is what I did on Monday morning, was this one here, and also this one, using the stamp set and some of the new in colour papers. This card here, well, part of the card, this panel was what I made this afternoon at Coffee and Card. So I just need to layer that up onto some card. I've added Speedy Recovery onto this one, and then pop that onto a background and then onto a card base. So I will get that one finished, but basically it's a replica of this one, but I actually did the masking off further down on the panel. So today I thought I would use the dies, and there's lots of dies in the set, and I think I showed those on Monday, and also the papers. And I've got various ideas floating around, so I have no idea which one I'm going to end up using. These are the coordinating sequins. These are self-adhesive shiny sequins, and they go perfectly with the papers. And those that have my class in a box have each of these colours in their packs. So I found this frame and I thought that might be useful, with a bit of patterned paper behind and then some of the flowers made up. So I just wanted to show you how you could put these together. There's lots of different ways, and obviously lots of different colourways. You can take the inspiration from the papers, of course, and in general they have a darker layer behind and then a lighter layer, and then we have this middle panel and then this little circle of tiny little flowers on stems. And so these are the elements cut out. So there are two different, just making sure I have got two different ones. There's two different flower types, one with a bigger centre and a smaller centre. We've got that little circle of flowers, and I've just picked out two colours, and these are the ones that will be included in the class in a box. Hi Kat, thanks for joining us. So let's see, you've also got all of these different foliage pieces. There's a long stalk as well that you can use, and I think I'm going to make 3 flowers, so I think I will do maybe 2 red and 1 yellow. So I'm just making sure I've got the right components. And we also have these cute little buds. There's 2 different types. There's this one here, it's like a little hand, and then there is also this one. So a fuller bud, if you like. I'm not sure that you can see the difference on there. Let me hold those up to the light a little bit. So you've got this one which is like filled in, and then this one which is quite open. And those go behind this little chap here. Let me get the red one out so you can see the two. Like so. So they're very cute. This is the centerpiece. I'm going to put this one here just so you can see a contrast. And then you've got those little tiny flowers that go around in a circle. Like so. You can either have a contrast of the middle or a contrast of both. Let's see. I could put the yellow flowers on there. Or I could put a brown centre. So for those that have a class in a box, you've got 4 different sets of flowers, 4 different sets of colours. So you've got Daffodil Delight, Sweet Sorbet, Starry Sky and Gorgeous Grape. So lots of combinations. You can have great fun. You can just put these 2 together if you want to. Okay, and not bother with all the other bits and pieces. So let us see. One way to make your flowers look more realistic is add a little bit of colour to them. So I happen to have my blending brushes just here, and this has got, hopefully, yes, a little bit of yellow on. So what you can do is add some colour with a blending brush or with a dauber, sponge dauber or a sponge, or you can place them straight onto an ink pad, get the same effect. So I might just ink this up a little bit more. So this is pumpkin pie. It's quite a new ink pad, as you can see. So I'm just going to brush these ends. And also you can use your bone folder or a pen or a pencil to curve these as well. Makes a real difference. Okay, so if you can see the difference between these two now, I'll just pick that one up. Right, let's lift that up. Well, if you can see the difference, whether it shows up on the camera or not. Does to me. Oh, hi Caroline or Lexi, whoever I've got. It's fine, I started a bit late anyway. So I'm just adding this. So these are the dies from the Zinnia set that we used on Tuesday. So I'm just adding a little bit of colour. I said I used 2 red, didn't I, and 1 yellow. And you can do the same obviously with the middle piece. And if you've got, especially if you've got my class in a box, if you've got yellow and you really wanted orange, then either dip it in an ink pad or use a blends pen or anything to make it darker if you wish. So that becomes a bit more of a contrast now. So let's do that. Okay, and I'm going to do the same with the red. I've almost certainly got, she says, a red brush. It says red. So apologies for not being here yesterday. Okay, that needs a bit more red ink for sure. Poppy braid. That's better. There's a little bit more pink than red. So I'm going to do the same with this. Just adding that detail, and the dies have got some embossed lines in them. Not sure whether you can see those or not. May not show up particularly well. Hi Susan, I hope you got through today okay. Gail's here, not Gail, Teresa is with us as well, and I'm presuming no news yet on Bill, but I've got my fingers crossed for some answers for you. Okay, so there's that one, and we'll just do the same with these, and then I'm just going to use, you could use the handle of your blending brush if you wanted. Anything sort of rounded, you don't want anything with a sharp edge. So there's those two. And I could go even darker with this. With a cherry cobbler. Oh, Susan, my goodness. I just hope that the scans can give you some answers. Okay, so just blending on this edge, like so. That makes a really pretty effect on the grid paper underneath. Like so. And obviously I'm using 2 layers for my flowers, but obviously you could use a lot more. You could use 3 or 4 layers if you wanted to. And I'm going to make and use 3 flowers. And you could combine the dies with the papers as well. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of red onto here. Like so. That really changes that. I put those two together. You can see the difference. And you can either add this around the edge or in the middle or on your finger like I have. Okay, let's add a little bit more to that. There we go. All right. Okay. Let's pop those away. And then I've got a bone folder here, but as I said, you could easily use the handle of your blending brush to curve these if you wanted to. Okay, because I know my blending brushes are quite inky, I'm just going to, and it's almost like you're doing curling ribbon, so between your thumb excuse me, and the bone folder, You're just running this along, and what this does is, if you're pushing it hard enough, is you're breaking the fibres on one side, and that helps it stay in place. Obviously, if you put it in an envelope and it's really squished, then this will flatten out a little bit, like so. And this one, and you can make them go one way or the other, so you can make them curl up or curl down, depending on the effect you want. That's that one. So I'm just going to do this fairly swiftly. I have to say it's been a pleasant day here today. Had a good coffee and card this afternoon. Like that. There we go. Now if you've got a mouse mat or something to hand, what you can also do is then push that and make it sort of fall back on itself. I have got a mouse mat I can try it with. Got my Stampin'Up mouse mat, this one here. Let's just turn this over. And again, you can use the top of your blending brush. You want something fairly round, and you can just sort of do a circular motion so that it brings it back. It's got a central piece, like so. Or you can just push it down, but you really want something round for that. So lots of things you can do to make them look more realistic. Let me put that back. Okay, so let's put a couple of these together. So I'm going to put these two together, and I'm just going to use a little bit of glue in between, and I put the one with the larger centre underneath, but you could do it either way. So let us add a little bit of glue on there. Literally a small amount is all you need. Let's put that on there, and this one, which I'm just going to bend that round a bit. Bit of glue on there. So don't forget, we've got the, that's the wrong way around. Actually these are the same, that's why it looks odd. Never mind, it's fine. Just turn it slightly, like that. Hold that one down. There we go. Going to break that round. There we are. So I've mixed and matched those two, and why not? Get quite different looking flowers. Okay, let me turn this over because it's quite difficult to see with that. Just bend these round. Okay, right, so I've got my 3 base flowers, and as I say, you can obviously add another layer if you wanted to, so you can have the yellow and orange underneath. Okay, and then we've got this circle with some markings on it. So I've got, let me see, I've got a red, I've got a brown, that's espresso, sweet sorbet. This is Daffodil Delight, but with that pumpkin pie on top. And I've got another one here. So I think I might give that one a brown centre, like so. There we are. And then let's put an orange centre in that one. Just a tiny bit of glue. You could put the glue on the bottom piece as well if you wanted to. And then let's have a yellow one here. So they're all slightly different, just as in real life. Unless you're exhibiting at the Chelsea Flower Show, in which case they all need to be the same, don't they? Okay, let me lift those up so you can see them. So they look quite different with that element of detail. And we've also got this little ring of tiny flowers, and there's also a die that has the flowers on their own, so you can attach those to these tiny little pieces if you wish, and you could also cut that apart as well. But there is a single die that has, I think it's 6 of these tiny little flowers. So I think, just seeing which ones go best, I think I'm going to put a yellow one on there. So just a tiny element of glue, like that. That's almost too much. Just going to take a little bit of that off. There we are. I'll lift that up so you can see it a little bit better. Oop, there's that one. It really does make a difference too if I put the contrast of these two together, the difference that makes from a single colour, just adding that little bit of detail. I know it hasn't got its middles on. And let's see, we've got a yellow one here. So I think what I'm going to do is make this a little bit more orangey and put it on that one there. So this is my pumpkin pie. Obviously you could cut it out of a different colour of card. So just be gentle with it. If it's a small die cut, you don't want to sort of ruffle it up too much. I'm going to make that a little bit darker. So what I might just do is pop it onto there and just press it in a little bit. Be careful not to stab the ink pad. If I can get it out. There we go. So this is a fairly new pumpkin pie, so it's obviously soaked up a lot of that ink, but that's fine because I want it as a contrast to the plain yellow. And then I've got, I might leave that one without actually. I'll have a look. So just add that little bit of glue. You can have great fun with these flowers. It's a bit like the paper florist dies, which I'm pretty sure are retiring from the annual catalogue. That's got heaps and heaps of different flowers. So there's that one. Maybe I'll just make this one a deeper red. So just going to pop it in there. Obviously if you don't want it too deep, then just use the blending brush and do it a little bit at a time to bring it up to your acquired colour. There we go. And a lot of these flowers can be two-tone, so you could start with a light blue and then add a darker blue with a blending brush, or you can have a light blue layer and a dark blue layer. Okay, now I've got very inky fingers, just as well it's Friday, isn't it, really? So just a little dots there. Pop that on. Let's give it a moment to attach itself. Okay, so I've got 3 flowers, and then let's just put a couple of these together. And exactly the same with the green. If you want to make them look a little bit more interesting and pick up some of those markings, then it hasn't got much green on it. It's got a little bit. Then give this the same treatment. Or what you could do, if you had a green blends pen, I've got this one, is light mossy meadow, is you could apply a bit of this either to the whole thing or to a part of the leaf. So never think, especially with the class in a box, that what I've sent you means you have to use it in that way and in that colour. So this way I'll get 2 quite different looking stalks. Now what you probably can't see is on this die, right at the top, there's 3 little notches, and it looks like a little face. I don't know whether you can see that. No, I don't suppose you can. It's very cute. It looks like a little smiling plant. Let's just do the same for this one. But as I say, you could also use a Stampin' marker, you could use the ink pad, you could use a watercolour pencil on it. Anything really to change that colourway. So this was Granny Apple Green to start with. Okay, so let's add 1 red and 1 yellow, and it just tucks underneath behind, so I'm going to put a tiny dot on the point of this. You could use glue dots if you prefer, if you're not very confident with a small amount of glue. Okay, just going to pop that on there. And there's quite a bit of leeway on that, so you don't have to, you don't have to be too accurate with it. Okay, and again, you can ink up the edges if you wanted to. Let's do a little bit of orange on this one. There we go. Alright, so we've got flowers and we've got little buds, like so. And then we also, as I say, have these, which you could just use as foliage. behind your flowers, or as I say, you can use the little flowers from the die, but they are seriously tiny. They're as small as these little ones. Alright, let's see if we can make a card now. So I have two thoughts. One is to use this frame with maybe some of the papers behind. This is from the Everyday Essentials die. And then I also have this. So this is from the same die set, and I thought it looked a bit like a the word will come to me in a minute, a lattice, trellis. So I could have actually run that all the way down, and this is a new colour called Basic Beige, which has been introduced in our new catalogue coming up in May. So I'm going to just tidy this up because this was actually an offcut. So it's not particularly straight or even. So let's just, what I'm doing is putting this along that line here. See if I can straighten that up. And if you're going for something that's quite delicate, put your cutting blade in the middle, like that. And then I'm just going to do the same on this one. Put it on there. So I'm lining up this inner line with the what happens to be the 1/2 inch mark. Oh, I was lucky. And then this I think I'll get away with that. So it's slightly smaller. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this piece here. So it's not exact, but it'll be close enough because I'm going to put a panel behind and put the flowers on top. So I'm wondering, I could use any of these patterns. I've no idea what I've done with my used pack of paper. So let's see, obviously that's a little bit too busy and I haven't got any purple, so I'm ruling that one out. I could use that or that as my background. That's a bit busy. I have got the oranges that would actually work potentially with my flowers, but looks a bit frantic. Of course we've got this one with that green tress behind. That would definitely work. Ooh. And then we've got this one with those lovely little tiny little flowers. That looks quite nice. I quite like that combination. Or got petal pink on the back, which doesn't really, sort of goes. And then finally I've got this, which has got the large print zinnias on it. It's a bit pink, isn't it? Or this has got sweet sorbet on the back. Decisions. I'm just putting these to see what they look like underneath. Like so. Do it that way. have a sentiment here, maybe on a little label. What do we think? Or I could put that on a piece of white. Let's have a look at my white card. Too many choices, folks, sorry. So that as a frame with my flowers and maybe a small sentiment in here. Or I could put that on white or espresso. I can't decide, folks. You can tell it's Friday, can't you? If you have a preference, please let me know. There's nothing in it, is there? There is nothing in it at all. I think I'm going to choose this one, which is a portrait card. Sideways says Susan. On this one with the green, like that. On white. Or on the Basic Beige. It's quite a nice stone colour. If you miss Sahara sand, it's like a lighter, slightly lighter version of Sahara sand. So, sideways on beige or on the frame. Let me find a small sentiment regardless. Yes, with the trellis behind. Okay. Thank you. Susan has it. Thank you, Susan. Okay, so I'm going to put this down first. And just be careful not to take glue right the way across, because obviously you've got all of these holes. So I'm just thinking outside the box, inside the box. Whether I put a very small layer of espresso so that you can see these dots better. Let's trim this down. Right, this should be 10.5, so I'm going to make it just 2 millimeters smaller. I'm just checking that is 14.85. Oh, it's not. 1, 2. I'm pretty sure I cut this piece to 10 by 14.35. Which I did. Okay. I could put it on a Basic Beige card, of course. Right, let's just layer this up. So I'm going to apply glue down the centre here, like that, and then I'm going to drop some in those little triangles, like that, just to hold it. And then maybe every other one on that edge. I do like this die, and I don't remember using it for anything else, but I'm sure I have done, because I'd cut something out with it because it had the dots already in it from the card that I'd used. Okay, it might have been that I used it for my sample, which is this one. So this is all the dies that you get with this Everyday Essentials die set. So you get this circle here and this one from the same die, and then you get 3 other sizes, 4 sets of rectangles, and then you have these 2 extra dies. There's 2 of these, and then this one here also cuts out that middle panel, and that edge was what I picked up for the Granny Apple Green piece. Okay, so that's going to get layered onto there. Oops. There we go. Got a bit carried away with that glue. It's alright. So I've just cut this as a landscape card, and I've got the tiniest border, literally 2mm between the beige card and the espresso, and the white, like so. Looks very pretty. And then I'm going to arrange my 3 flowers here, like so. I think it's quite autumnal actually, isn't it? I was thinking it should be spring-like really. And then we've got our little buds, 1, 2, and then we can have some of these little frond pieces as well for effect. So that's going to be when I've laid it down. Before I do that, I'm going to stamp a sentiment in here. Let me just see what I've got to hand. It's a bit late for Mother's Day. Love and best wishes. I've got a side opening. That would work, I think. Sending love and best wishes, like that. Or maybe down. One of those. Let's grab a block. And I'll stamp that in an early espresso, of course. Oh, no. There we go. Sorry, it's because it was put away for coffee and card. And my spare one is in the other room. So, sending love and best wishes. Nothing like straight. Let's have a look, see. Actually, that's not far off. There we are. Okay, final touches are to put my flowers on. If you arrange them and you like the look of those, then what I would do is take a quick photograph on my camera, and so when I've moved them off I can put them back in, and I might use some dimensionals for the flowers. I had that one up at the top, didn't I? Just trim that down. I'm just using the edges here, dimensionals. There we go. Same with this one, I'll just trim these up. We'll use every little bit we can, or you could use the mini dimensionals as well if you wanted to. So I like to put my flowers down first, and then tuck my foliage and everything else underneath. Go. Doesn't look very pretty underneath, but that doesn't really matter. Okay, so those are my 3 little flowers, and then these are going to just tuck underneath. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, tiny amount on the stalk, a little bit on the flower head, and then just sort of lift these petals up a little bit, like so. That's that one. I haven't left myself much space. That will do, and then I'll add a little bit of that thin foliage as well. And if this is too long, just cut the stalk off. There we go. Nearly there. Use that. Oh, Teresa, thank you. And then I'm just going to add some of these little foliage pieces. So for the class in the box, you've got loads of these. I was beginning to doubt my choice because it's a lot of die cutting, but let's put one down in here. There we go. And of course the Zinnia is our stamp set of the week, and if you order that through me, then you get all of the components for the cards that I've made. So you would get these components plus all the flowers, and then this here with the postage die. Obviously you need the stamp set, but if you buy the stamp set or the dies, then you'll get those components automatically. And let me see, so I've got these yellow, a bit of orange, a bit of green, a little bit pink, those, but I think I might just add in I could do them in a line minus the cat hair, or a little triangle. Triangle means you don't have to get them straight. These are lovely, these little sequins. They're called self-adhesive shiny sequins. There we go. Now what I could do actually is, because those are a bit pale, is add a bit of cherry cobbler blends pen to one of the red ones to make it a bit redder. So you want to do this before you move them off the sheet, And this is a great technique if you've got plain pearls or plain gems. You can transform them into any colour. And if you don't have our blends pens, you could use a Sharpie marker if you've got alcohol markers. So I'm going to lift this one off, like so, put it back, and then pick up one of these. Now you do need to allow it a little bit of time to dry, and take the cat's hair away. There we go, that's better. There we are. I'm much happier with that now. So there we go, there's our finished card. You could stamp the zinnias obviously on the inside, or you could add a birthday message. I'm happy with these going off the end of the card because I know that will still fit in the envelope, but you could either cut this off if you wanted it directly in line, or you could tuck it further in. What I might do is just trim that at a little angle, she says. There we go, so it's not pointing out quite so much. And there we go, there's our finished card. So I hope you like it. I am liking this Basic Beige colour. It's, as I say, lighter than the Sahara Sand, and it sort of replaces our Very Vanilla because we have stopped doing the thick Very Vanilla. We still have the thin Stampin' Very Vanilla. Perfect for stamping on, but not good for card bases unless you've got a few layers like I have here. So there we are, there's our finished card. I hope you like it. I hope you have a go with the zinnias if you've got them, and if you need to order any, then just let me know. And as I say, if you order the stamp set of the week, either the stamp set, the dies or the bundle by Sunday, then you will get a free pack of all of these components for the 3 cards that I've made live this week, plus envelopes and everything else. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend. I look forward to catching up with everybody next week, and if you're watching but haven't said hi, then a warm welcome still to you. And this obviously will go on to YouTube probably this evening, Friday the 26th of April. And then we'll be back on Monday for a brand new stamp set of the week. And because it's the launch of our new catalogue next week, I will be using a brand new stamp set from the new catalogue. So I hope you're able to join me. In the meantime, look out for your class in a box coming to you soon if you've ordered one. And I also have a card class next Saturday at Buckingham, which will be a slightly cut down version from our class in a box. And then also I have on Tuesday afternoon the class in a box in-person class in Brackley. So lots of choices. I'm off to finish the rest of the boxes, and I look forward to catching up with you very soon. Do take care everyone. Love especially to Susan, Teresa and Gail. And I look forward to speaking with you and catching up with you soon. Bye for now everyone. Take care.